Hey everybody, Brandon Marcello here. Hope you can hear me well. Hope everything's connected here. Trying YouTube Live now. We tried Facebook Live with this new equipment a few nights ago. Now trying this. See how it's working. I get the feeling the stream's probably not as good as I want it to be. Um, uh, but we will try. At the very least, if anyone has any questions, which is very possible because I don't have a lot of subscribers on YouTube. But make sure and hit that subscribe button if you haven't. That'd be great. At least I can just check. I'm just trying this out on multiple platforms. That's just how it goes. But thanks for joining me. Hey, Corin. I hope I was saying your name correctly. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. Appreciate you stopping by. Everything sound and look good? If so, that's great. If not, oh boy, I'm sorry. Well, thanks for joining me. There's 4 of you. We're really getting up there. Really appreciate you stopping by. Preseason camp here at Auburn starting very, very soon. Starting Monday. Players report Sunday. Auburn actually released kind of a hype video, I guess you could call it, from its Twitter account today, kind of just showing the players working out and getting ready for camp. You see a quick glimpse of Jarrett Stidham working out, which, of course, everybody wants to see. They want to see that man getting to know his new teammates and everybody. But I think, sorry, I'm texting my wife. But, I think that, with camp finally here, we're finally going to get to see Jarrett Stidham throwing the football, which is something. Something we haven't seen, at least. Thanks, Street. Appreciate that. Thanks for listening to the podcast. Really appreciate it. But if you look at Sean White, first day to go out and prove himself, to go out and see if he can actually challenge for the starting job after everything he's been through. Be interesting to see exactly what happens with that. But as of right now, as we all know, I think we'd all be very surprised if Jarrett Stidham is not the starting quarterback. But at the very least, listen, he gets to go out there and try and prove himself worthy of at least being the backup quarterback, if not a starter. Yeah, got some distortion. I might need to restart this, Cole. I think I've got the settings up way too high for my internet connection. So, you know what? I'm going to stop real quick. I'll be right back within like 2 minutes. So, I'll be right back. Okay, everybody, I'm back. Hopefully, this is a better stream. Like I said, I'm just trying some things out, trying to get everything online and ready to go and making sure it's a healthy stream. I may have been doing it at a higher bit rate than I should have and frame rate that my computer is capable of doing right now, sadly. But we do what we can. Street says, if Jarrett Stidham is not the quarterback, I'm going to riot. Well, that would be, well, at least you'd have a one-man riot. What's a one-man riot? Is that a riot? But listen, it's going to be Jarrett Stidham. You bring a junior college quarterback in who has proven himself, he's going to end up being the starter. I think since day one, Sean White was named the starter back at that Mississippi State game back in 2015 at Jordan-Hare Stadium. Auburn was looking for a reason to bench him ever since then. They might not say it. They might not even been really thinking it, but they were, because it was always, well, Jeremy Johnson could be the starter here soon. And then they went out and got John Franklin III. And John Franklin III didn't work out. Then they went out and got Jarrett Stidham. It's very obvious that Stidham is the one they're expecting fully to be the starting quarterback when all is said and done and practices wrap up in August. Now, I've been asked this over and over again, when will they name a starting quarterback? Mid-August at some point. I think it could happen as early as after the first scrimmage, which would be after the first 6 or 7 days of practices. But based off Malzahn, when he has like a 2-man race and he knows kind of what they are, he kind of lets it go 2 weeks. So it'll probably be 2 scrimmages, which will line up with mid-August. And I think by the time, obviously by the time Fan Day arrives, in August 19th, they will have a starting quarterback, and fans can go get autographs from the starting quarterback. But as it stands now, I think they could announce something as soon as after that first scrimmage, which would be after days 6, 7 of practices. By the way, we still do not have a schedule for preseason camp. That could be coming today at any minute. Could come tomorrow. Hopefully it comes before Monday when they start practicing. But I think we'll get it today, tonight, or sometime tomorrow. But as it stands now, Auburn is obviously starting. Auburn is obviously starting practice on Monday and ramping up for that. If you didn't see the hype video, I don't know if you call it a hype video, but they released a video of them lifting weights. Jarrett Stidham's in it. A lot of linemen getting ready for preseason camp, 36 days away from kickoff against Georgia Southern. And camp will begin. I think speaking of, I'm going all over the place here, sorry, but we're talking about start of preseason camp. Did you guys see, it was just released, LSU is allowing no media access to practices, no pictures, no video, and no allowance by them to step inside the practice gates to watch any of it. Not even the stretching, like Auburn allows us, where we get to watch them stretch. That's incredible to me that they are completely shutting things down. And I joked on Twitter, well, obviously LSU is going undefeated now. No media access, no outside diversions. Interesting move by Ed Orgeron, but I have seen coaches. Coaches are paranoid anyway. They all are. You have to be a head coach in college football or in NFL football, but maybe less so in NFL because everybody knows what everybody's doing anyway. But college football might be worse. So that's interesting. Hopefully Gus Malzahn didn't see that here in the last minute. Oh, wait, hold on a second. We're not releasing that practice schedule yet. I've got to make some changes. Let's hope that's not the case. Yeah. Streetworthy wants to know, is July 31st the start of camp? I don't know for sure. Yes, the 31st. That is Monday. The players report Sunday. Some are out of town, some are other places, but most of them are already on campus or around campus, and that's report day. Report day now isn't like it used to be in the old days when it was actually players coming back after like a month away from campus or whatever, and everybody's like, hey, you got a nice tan. Hey, man, what have you been up to? It's now just, we're going to have a meeting tonight, a team meeting, let you guys know what's going on, what the schedule is for tomorrow, what blah, 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 what time you guys want you guys in your bunks, so to speak. And then practices start the next day. So the 31st reporting day is more or less them just sitting up, meeting up as a team, having meetings, and then having a meeting, and then they're on their way to their dorm rooms and everything, and then they come back for preseason camp, which is kind of, I remember other places I've covered it. They, some schools they'll go practice not necessarily at their regular practice facility. They'll go somewhere else where there's fields to kind of treat it like a NFL preseason camp where they're having to travel to the field and position groups are traveling together, whatever. It's like always close to campus, but it's a different feel. It lets them know that it's not like a typical practice. I guess it's a mental thing for them. But I don't think Auburn will be doing that anytime soon. Sorry, my my dog is barking. Not great for quality of audio, but that's my dog. He likes to bark at things that cannot hurt him. And maybe I'm getting a package delivered. I don't know. I'm expecting a package today. Anyway, so Auburn starting practice is Monday. You know, the number one question I've been getting a lot, other than quarterbacks and some of that other stuff, is what exactly could we expect? Could we expect maybe some suspensions or any injuries we haven't heard about or anything along those lines? Listen, we all know that there's rumors and video out there of a fight at Chewacla State Park here in Auburn. Thing is, no one can be able to confirm whether there's actual football players involved. It's just a bunch of innuendo and everything. So, but I've been told that any punishment would be behind the scenes and nothing really big. Again, I'm sorry for my dog barking. Hold on a second. Lambo, chill it. You're all right. Chill out. Sorry, my mic's glitching. It might be the dog barking. Hopefully, it's not the stream. My stream says it's healthy. You guys able to hear me okay? Are you guys around? I know there's only 6 of you here right now. But hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I'll probably do these a little bit more often on multiple platforms. Our main platform will be Facebook Live at the Auburn Undercover website, our webpage on Facebook. So look for Auburn Tigers on 24/7 Sports or search for Auburn Undercover on Facebook and subscribe there, and you'll be getting all of our latest news updates, but also any videos and things like that. We always do videos after practices to kind of talk with fans and let you guys know what's going on. Outside of that, you don't get like the VIP content, the subscriber content on the Facebook page. So you need to subscribe to get that. And here's the great news. We have a fantastic promotion going on at auburnundercover.com. You purchase 1 month, just buy 1 month, and we'll give you 3 months free. That'll take you through the entire football season. So you're paying just for 1 month, which is what, $12? $12 for VIP intel you will not get anywhere else from myself, Philip Marshall, who's been doing this for close to 40 years or maybe more, Michael Nizelik, who joined our staff in the offseason, really into football and obviously basketball. He's been providing a lot of intel on basketball as that team is practicing and preparing for a trip to Italy in exhibition play. And then, of course, round-the-clock recruiting coverage from Michael Nizelik, who I believe is the best recruiting man in the business, not just covering Auburn, but in the business. He's done national stuff, and now he's covering Auburn for us over the last few years. So fantastic stuff coming your way here in August, and when practices start July 31st. So make sure, go take advantage of that subscription offer. It's a really good deal, I think, and something that I think you'll be very, very happy with the coverage that we're putting together. So hope you enjoy that. If you have any questions, get in the chat right here and ask away. Any comments? I hope my audio is coming through clearly. That's always my number one concern with all of these things. I know Mike B said my microphone was glitching earlier. Hopefully it's not anymore. Hopefully that was just from the dog barking so much, because my dog never knows how to be quiet. He's always barking at the most inopportune times. But right now we're counting down 10 reasons to be concerned, 10 reasons for optimism. At Auburn Undercover, we're on number 3. Of course, we have number 2 on Saturday on both, and then number 1 on Sunday on reporting day. Earlier in April, May, I released a 10 bold predictions for Auburn. I might revisit that at some point during camp. During camp, I'll also be putting together a ranking of every position unit. I did that all throughout the season last year. It was very popular. And it's not necessarily a depth chart. It's just a ranking based off intel we're hearing and also from our own observations and discussions of where players stand, say, along the entire defensive line. So I'm not just ranking the tackles, then the ends. I'm saying this is the best defensive lineman. And then here's the second best defensive lineman. Here's the third best, and so on. Also, we'll have the return of 3 things I know, 3 things I think, which has been sporadic throughout the summer because things kind of slowed down. For Your Eyes Only, which Philip Marshall does once a week when the season starts. He'll be doing that again in August once camp arrives, so make sure and check that out. All this is VIP content. Of course, Brandon's 2 Bits will be returning, which is just nuggets of information and some opinion mixed in of what I think what's going on at Auburn and beyond. Philip Marshall will be doing Morning Coffee, which is just kind of him sitting back and talking about the news of the day, whether it's Auburn or outside the SEC or even in the SEC. Of course, a lot going on everywhere for us to keep track of that could indirectly or directly affect Auburn, or is at least an interesting conversation. And of course, Keith Niebuhr has recruiting insiders every single day, sometimes 2 to 3 a day. Unmatched in the business. I mean, listen, if you follow recruiting, you got to subscribe to us. AuburnUndercover.com. I mean, there's not better recruiting coverage out there. And then, of course, Michael Neislick. He's covering basketball recruiting, 10 most wanted players out there that Auburn are targeting. And, of course, he'll be helping out with football, writing some features. And we got some cool stuff planned for you, multimedia-wise, but also with coverage coming up that'll be VIP only. And also some free stuff, which is the newsy stuff that everybody gets. But we put the stuff that we have exclusive to us, we put VIP. I rarely use exclusive. I'll talk about ethics here journalistically. I rarely use the word exclusive for an article or anything like that because it gets, if you use it enough, it loses its meaning. I just let the news and the coverage speak for itself. Maybe if I said exclusive more in this day and age when people see those type things, they'll go, oh, they're always on top. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, yeah, I'm confident, I'm cocky. We're the best staff there is covering Auburn. So I would subscribe to this. And I would subscribe. Listen, I was subscribed to 24/7 before I was with 24/7 because I know they had the best recruiting coverage and also the best team coverage when it came to some intel. And that was before I joined. So it's not me that you should be subscribing to per se. Even though I think I do an okay job. MC Thunder asks, what do you think about the playing only Power 5 teams? I was asked about this. Nick Saban mentioned it. The Alabama coach, of course, on, I think, ESPN a couple days ago. It's an interesting idea. The issues with that is, one, FCS schools, and not necessarily FCS schools, the lower tier FBS programs would die. Lots of them would die off. That's how they survive, is getting those big paychecks from Power 5 teams and non-conference games. Also, I wonder about injuries, the injury situation for these programs. I don't think it would be good come November or late October. I think you'd have much more injuries, especially for SEC teams, Big Ten teams, the Power 5 teams, but especially the SEC teams and the Big Ten teams. Those top 2 or 3 of the Power 5 conferences, there'd be so many teams beat up. You would see like a team like an Alabama or maybe even an Auburn or Florida where they're in contention. They have the talent to win a national championship, but all these injuries decimate them, and it completely erases what they've accomplished because they're playing all these Power 5 teams. I mean, listen, college football is not the NFL. They're not going to be playing, these 18-week schedules or whatever. But playing 12 regular season games and making them all Power 5, I think because of a college athlete's body and then also its development, still in development, they're also, have to go to school. They have other obligations. It tires them. They're up late. They're not getting a lot of sleep, even though they should be. And that will wear on the body late in the season. And if you're playing Power 5 teams every single week, I just don't think it's a good idea. Monetarily, it would be a great idea for the SEC network and all these other TV entities, and then also for the schools. They would make more money because the games would be more profitable. There would be more TV money going around. But listen, at some point, we listen. We act like everything is just this is an amateur model. It's about the student athletes, but it's not really because ESPN and the SEC are making millions and millions and millions of dollars. I'm sure they're handing it over to some of the schools, a portion of it, but let's stop making the college game as professional as we can. It's already getting there from practice schedules. I mean, summer voluntary workouts are no really voluntary. I just don't think that would be a good idea to play every opponent be a Power 5 opponent. I think that would be silly. MC also asks, how do I see Sal Cannella's role? Sal Cannella, the junior college transfer, tight end. I think he'll play more in the slot, a little bit receiver. Jalen Harris will be a true tight end. I want to see Sal Cannella, whether he's bulked up a little bit. I mean, I talked to Chip Lindsey back in the spring, and he mentioned that they like to add some weight to him. I want to see where he's at right now. You see what you see on the roster. I haven't looked at the roster, but he's not quite up to that weight that you would want for a true tight end. So I think at that point, if he's not up to that bulk and he's a good run blocker, they'll probably put him in the slot a little bit more. And I think that would be his role. I think you could see, what I'm trying to say is you'll probably see Jalen Harris and Sal Cannella on the field at the same time as a result. And that could be a good thing. Does that mean the tight end's going to be more involved in the passing game? I don't know. Probably more than last year, obviously, because Jalen Harris only had 2 catches, and both those catches went for touchdowns. That's a pretty good success rate. But I just don't think that you're going to be seeing him throw to the tight end 30 times in a season. I might be wrong, but we'll see. I think Sal Cannella's role would be more as a slot receiver, in my opinion. We'll see that. You never know. Never know. So, I guess that's about all I've got right now. Unless you guys got a quick question or two. I really just wanted to try this out real quick. I really enjoy doing these and talking to Auburn fans and trying to give them some insight on what's going on. Obviously, it's kind of quiet before preseason camp. The coaches are just ready to get out there and start working with their players. The players are really looking forward to going out there and working with their coaches. And it's just a matter of keeping players healthy and get them ready, and then hit the practice field. But as it stands now, you'll start hearing more talk on that first day of practice. So we'll have much more coverage, practice updates, photo galleries of all the new players. Reminder, the freshmen will be standing off to the side. They won't be participating in practices for the first couple of days. So if you're wondering how TD Moultrie is doing and all those guys, you're not really going to see that for those first couple of days of practices, but you'll see after the first week how they're progressing, and once they get to that, that first big scrimmage. So it'll be very interesting to watch, and we'll be there. Podcast throughout the season as well. Lots of stuff coming your way at auburnundercover.com. Make sure to go to auburnundercover.com now. We are having a limited time subscription special. If you go and subscribe for 1 month, you get 3 months free. So that's a total of 4 months, and that means you get the entire season for just the price of 1 month, which is about $12. If you're already a subscriber, you can get the same deal. Just email support@247sports.com and ask about it. If you're a monthly subscriber, same situation. You could still take advantage of this deal. Usually you have to be a new user, but now doesn't matter. You could be anybody. You could be a user on there for the last 8 years, and you're going to be able to get this special deal. So go to auburnundercover.com for more details. The story is plastered on the front of the page. You'll see it. Act now. Get Auburn Undercover for 3 months for free. Go there, subscribe. A lot of newcomers have jumped on the last couple of days, and you should too if you haven't already. I really appreciate you guys dropping by. We got a couple more quick questions. I'll go and answer them because as I was closing this, we got them. MC wants to know any suspensions we know about. No, not right now. That could change. Obviously, things happen during the summer, and as I said, there was rumors going around. But I was told that those are going to be handled behind closed doors. You might not really see a suspension. Mike B, last question here. How much do you think the pass rush will drop in production this year? I think it's one of the biggest questions for this team. I actually wrote about it briefly today in the 10 things to be concerned about. Auburn loses 13.5 sacks just from Carl Lawson and Travius Adams, going to the NFL. Who's going to replace that? I mean, the two guys you have to look at are Jeff Holland at the back position, who doesn't have a lot of playing time at that spot, and then also Marlon Davidson at defensive end, who had an exceptional year as a freshman, but didn't have like big numbers. He was just very consistent. Do they have a player who can step up and be the star of that defense in the pass rush? I don't know. They're really deep, but I think if they want to be a successful defense, a top 10 defense again, they need to have one or two players in that defensive line that are just amazing. And as it stands right now, I don't know if they have that, but Jeff Holland is the player to watch out for. He's the one I've been hearing the most about in his development. He was weaker against the run, but Rodney Garner said back in April he's really fixed that. Jeff Holland's a guy I think you should really watch. And then I'm really interested to see if Marlon Davidson can keep it up. You always hear about the sophomore slump, especially if you're a true freshman playing and you get thrown in the fire. That'll be interesting. And then also Paul James III, who came on campus last year, was expected to start defensive end, got injured his knee, had to be sidelined, and that's why Marlon Davidson played as a freshman. Paul James III is fully healthy now. He got a medical red shirt, so he's eligible for 2 more years. How does he contribute? A guy that was expected to possibly start, can he come in, not be a starter maybe, but play significant minutes and really help them? I think that they've got good depth. You just need 1 or 2 guys to really step up and be that big time player. So that's going to do it for me. Thanks for joining me, testing things out. We'll do this more often on Facebook at Auburn Undercover, and then I'll try to do a few here on YouTube as well, just to mix things up. But I really appreciate it, especially if it's late at night and I just feel like talking. So I appreciate you stopping by. Go to auburnundercover.com, sign up for our great subscription drive, and I'll see you at football practice Monday afternoon, hopefully, if we get a schedule.